All right. Hello, everyone. Uh, Welcome to our first Voyage Healthcare Traveler Tuesday. I am Jeff Johnson. I'm the Director of Sales here at Voyage, and next to me is Brooks McKenna, our Senior Recruiter. Today, we're coming to you from sunny Colorado. I think we're about 17 degrees outside right now, so inside we're staying warm.
Yep.
We just wanted to go ahead and introduce our first topic for Traveler Tuesday. It's why we love working with nurses. I know one of mine and Brooks' favorite parts is getting to build relationships, and I'm going to let Brooks expand on that a little bit now.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. One thing that I really enjoy about building relationships with nurses is just the finding out where they're from, where they want to go, what exactly they want from it. I know in the past I had a traveler, her name's Katie, she's from Minnesota, and we actually got her out here in Colorado. So she's taken an assignment here. Most of my relationships with nurses, they tend to transcend to personal friendships. Josh Crittenton is out there, Jacob, Jonathan, Breck, Hannah. I mean, it all stems from one person, and it just branches out. And I love talking to them, you know, at 6 o'clock, 5 a.m. in the morning. Hey, Brooks, I need this, you know. And it's that relationship. And, you know, we've had numerous times where we've had a few nurses come, stop by the office, and it's a heartwarming feeling.
Absolutely. It's nice to, you know, turn initial phone calls into, you know, working relationships. And then, you know, for some of us, we've turned it into personal friendships as well. I know I've got several nurses worked for me for over a decade now here at Voyage, 13 weeks at a time, which is it's crazy to think about, but what an impact it's made on their lives and the people around them as well. I know another reason we love working with nurses is, especially travel nurses, is working with such trained professionals. You know, it's nice to work with somebody that really knows what they're doing. Wouldn't you say, Brooks?
Yeah, absolutely. With two instances, I have Anthony, you know, he came from California, put him up in Idaho. I have Danson from Texas, put him up to Virginia. And they call me, hey, Brooks, I know what to do. I want this, get me there. Done. So these nurses, they come in, they know what to do, and we put them in, they just thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always nice knowing we're working with someone that knows what they want. However, it's also nice knowing working with someone that allows us to use our experience and everything that we've done to guide them into a role that really fits them better. It's always, you know, refreshing to not have to go through so much training, which is why working with experienced nurses is just really something that we try to focus on more as much as we can.
Right.
Right now, I know this is probably one of the best times to be a recruiter, to work with nurses, because there's so many great jobs out there. It really makes the process, you know, actually fun instead of, you know, more of a grueling job search. Now it's kind of, you get to pick what you want. I know Brooks has a lot of personal relationships. You want to talk about a little bit of those?
Absolutely. I actually have a few hiring managers within different facilities all across America that constantly call me, text me, hey Brooks, I'm in need of 2 ICU nurses. Hey, I need more med-surg nurses for nights. Who do you have? You know, and it's just so easy, especially the ones who aren't the 2 years experience that most hospitals, you know, prefer or require. We get them in. And most of those times, those nurses, they're the first ones willing to float. They're the first ones, hey, pick me. You know, let me get my travel career started and go from there. So like I said, you know, I have these connections, these contacts. Brooks, we trust your decision. We love working with Voyage. Whoever you send us, we'll put them in.
Absolutely. It's nice being able to, you know, get to the top of the pack. You know, if there's a great job, which, you know, a lot of these relationships we've built with these hiring managers are in desirable locations. That's why we started working with them in the first place. And, you know, through us sending in such high quality nurses, you know, they decided that they want to work with more of those And communicating with us, they've allowed us to have their personal lines, their direct numbers. And whenever we have somebody, instead of maybe being the 15th person submitted, we can go directly to that hiring manager, explain to her that nurse's qualifications, get them directly into that job. It just makes the process a lot easier for everybody involved. Plus, maybe that nurse doesn't have 2 exact years. Maybe they have 1 year, 12, 11 months, and where the person that's in charge of pushing those profiles onto the manager might not push it on, where we can go directly to that manager. By the time they start, they're going to have 2 years anyways. So It's just nice to be able to kind of work around that through the relationships that we've developed. Another reason we love working with nurses here is getting to kind of guide their careers. I've always kind of explained what we do here. We're not a nurse's manager. We pay them, so it kind of seems, like we might be in management, but you have a manager. Nurses have managers at the hospitals. They have plenty to deal with. They don't need us. Our role is more of like an agent. I always joke with my nurses, if they've seen the movie Jerry Maguire, that's our role. We're here to work with you and help you, but not, you work for us. I know Brooks likes to talk a little bit about, moving nurses throughout their careers.
Yeah, I had a wonderful CNA I was working with, Lena, and she actually she gave me a call the other day. She's like, "Hey, I just passed my nursing exam. I'm a RN. I'd like to come back and travel with you." So that's one thing that we love doing. I love seeing it is having CNAs and LPNs develop more into RNs and be able to place them and redeploy them as an LPN, as an RN, and it furthers their career for sure.
Right now, we're seeing a lot of float pool roles. That's kind of the new thing that these hospitals are trying to do, considering they're spending such a premium on the nurses. They want to try and get a nurse that can go anywhere possible throughout the hospital. And I know I had one of my nurses last week, or 2 weeks ago maybe. She's a med-surg tele nurse, very smart nurse, very capable. They needed her in the ER. She's never worked the ER before. And I'm not talking ER holding either. We're right in the heart of the ER. Short-staffed. She was many rooms that she could handle. It was a very taxing day. She's like, "I never want to go back there again." Sure enough, she called the next morning. That's where they had her. By the end of the second day, she called me and she's like, "I'm actually really starting to like this. I want to see if maybe I could make this more of a role for myself." And communicating with the hospital, we're able to get her some more ER shifts. By the time she completes this 13-week assignment, that's actually something we'll be able to put on her resume, that she's now, med-surg tele / PCU / ER.
Right.
Those are more jobs we're able to market her for throughout, the course of her career with Voyage. We're able to move them through the process.
And I kind of wanted to expand on that. Actually, we have, to go deeper with a personal relationship with the facility. We have a nurse. He's been a nurse for about 1.5 years, so under the 2-year requirement. And she called me and she goes, I love this Brandon guy. Can you ask if he's interested in getting ICU experience, critical care? Can you ask if he wants to float and get different experience throughout the hospital? Easy decision on both sides. And now he has ICU experience when he was hired for solely med-surg.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's just going to help so much as, we move away from COVID staffing back to regular level staffing. It's going to help so much to be that much more marketable. Maybe it's you want to go to a specific city and you're med-surg and they don't have any med-surg jobs, but they have ICU. But because of this experience you're able to gain on these other contracts, we're able to submit you for that ICU job, get you that location you really truly want. Or maybe it's just pay, whatever it might be. It's just the more open you are to working different units, the more available you are to that, the more desirable you are to hospitals.
Right.
We work with a few behavioral health facilities where we're their exclusive partners, and more there than anywhere I've seen our nurses level from CNAs up to LPNs, from LPNs to RNs, and really then, just open up so many more opportunities for them. And it's just really great to be able to allow them, travel. Its pay is great too, but scheduling, a lot of times we're able to help you with that flexible schedule while you're going through school. I know so many of my LPNs, even RNs still, because they're always trying to get that further education, find that working as a travel nurse is really something that's going to help them, with the flexible schedule of schooling.
And not just that. I mean, I know you've had a few as well, but I think I'm working with 2 or 3 different nurse practitioners who, they're either in nurse practitioner school or they're a full-on nurse practitioner. And, we have most of these facilities working around the schedule, or, it's fit for all different types of schedules.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, nurse practitioners for a long time have been some of our better travel RNs. I know that, a nurse practitioner schedule, usually has them working 1 or 2 days a week. And in the meantime, they're trying to find something to supplement that income. And travel nursing just, does a great job of allowing them to do an RN role that they had done in the past while continuing to explore nurse practitioner opportunities as well.
Right.
So it's just a lot of benefits, working hand in hand with a good recruiter, someone that's going to be your recruiter the entire time that you work with the company. My favorite thing about working with travel nurses is the impact on the lives. So many families, my nurses, probably one of my first nurses I ever recruited that really locked me into travel nursing. She called me one day. She was a little emotional, and we talk daily, so I immediately recognized it. And what's going on? What can I do to help? I thought something was wrong, and she was just overtaken with so much joy and pride because her son had just turned 16. She's a single mother. She never thought she'd be able to afford to buy him a car, and because she was a travel nurse for a few years, she was able to save up enough money, and make that come true for him. And it was the first time I really realized what impact I can have outside of just finding them a job and how much more it means, to a nurse to be able to do something with independence like that.
Yep, that's amazing. And I know I have 2 personal different stories. Brecken, she's a first-time traveler. She's from Kansas, went up to North Dakota. Not too many people up in North Dakota, but she took a contract and verbatim, she sent me a text, first paycheck hits differently.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, what's wrong? What did I mess up? She goes, nothing. It's it's a lot more than I expected. So that was a personal one. And then I had a few others that they want to travel to different cities and just help touch as many lives as they can. And when I heard that definitely settled for me.
Absolutely. That's kind of the hidden meaning for us because we're so behind the scenes. We're not out there saving lives and sacrificing time with family on holidays, like our professionals are. But we are making a difference in people's lives, and working with nurses is the sole reason we're able to do that. Because of y'all, we're able to make more of an impact. There's a lot of people's grandmothers and sisters and brothers that are in hospitals that are getting care now. Because we're able to find a nurse that will go to that town where they're so desperately seeking help. And, it's just a silver lining to an already great position and a great job. But it's just something that really means a lot to us at Voyage and that we don't take for granted.
Yeah. And not just that, I mean, to kind of boost us as well. I mean, I know Jeff, myself, most of our recruiters, I mean, we're available 24/7.
Yeah.
So, there's times we get phone calls at 5, 6 a.m., like I mentioned before. Hey, Brooks, I need help with this. Hey, I have a problem. I have a question. Right then and there, pick up. I pride myself on always being able to, my nurses get a hold of me.
Accessibility, yeah.
Right.
That's a big thing for us here at Voyage. We know that, and a lot of times we're taking a nurse maybe from Florida and putting them in West Virginia or New Mexico maybe, clear across the country where they have no family or friends, and the time zones are so much different. So when they get off work, and get home at 8:30, all their family and friends might be sleeping, and they might have had a bad day. Need to talk to somebody, and as tough as those calls may be sometimes, they usually end with such a great feeling for both of us because we were able to get through a tough time and bond a bit on the phone call. Just real appreciative of having that opportunity to, help that nurse make a difference in her life so she can make a difference in so many other people's lives.
Absolutely.
Well, I just want to thank everybody that logged on and viewed, and all the people that are gonna view. That was our first Traveler Tuesday. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment box or shoot us a message. If you like this, please give it a like, maybe share it with some friends, so that next week when we do our second Traveler Tuesday, we'll get some more people on. Follow us along all of our different streaming services. We'll have everything listed in the comments. And if you need anything, again, I'm Jeff and this is Brooks. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.